7 people are still unaccounted for right now after explosions destroyed a fireworks facility in Esparto. We now know 2 people were injured, but they are expected to be okay. They're already out of the hospital. Livecopter 3 was overhead yesterday evening as this was all unfolding during the 6 o'clock hour. Flames forced fireworks to ignite, leading to several explosions across the site.
And we're now getting a better look at the damage. The property is leveled this afternoon.
KCRA 3's Leanne Denier's live for us in Livecopter 3 with a look from above at what's left. Leanne?
Yeah, Lisa, since we last saw you, we've spent the last little bit looking for any obvious signs of damage to the homes that are around the County Road 23. From this vantage point, we are quite high up at this point. We haven't seen any obvious signs. That is not to say that that damage doesn't exist, but we're just trying to see what we can see with our capabilities and our camera here. But let's go ahead and go outside so you can all get an idea of what we're looking at. Up here, you can see just the charred fields and just this gray rectangle of destruction from the area. Something that we've talked about throughout this, while this is a rather rural area, there are homes, and we did hear from lots of folks who reported either feeling the impact of these explosions or reported numerous issues at their home that they believe was a result of just the power and the intensity of that explosion. But from flying around over the last few minutes, we haven't seen any obvious signs of that from here. But you can see just how far this perimeter does go. Just those little white dots, you can see just the debris and the shrapnel that did just extend out throughout this area, and which is why it illustrates why officials continue to say that they need to keep this wide perimeter up, and it is not safe for them and their crews to go in. But over the last few hours, as we started to hear from people who know folks who worked at this facility or their loved ones were potentially there at the time, we know just how frustrating this must be for them, and we can hear it in their voices that they want answers. And we do hope that this at least gives them something, that we're able to show these pictures of what we're seeing from the air, as we're unable to get closer on the ground, as I'm sure they are unable to really try to get in and figure out what's going on with their loved ones. So we do hope that this is helpful in some way, because you can just see just the sheer intensity. And Calista, I do believe it looks like there's a person there. Now that we're watching this live, I don't know anything about who this person might be, but I just noticed it in my screen just in front of me. So it looks like someone taking photos. You have to assume at this point that this is an investigator, but I do not want to assume on the air who this person may or may not be. But we did just notice this individual walking through the debris here, appearing to take photos. So we're going to have to send some questions off to officials to see if they can confirm anything. Let's go ahead and do that, and I'm going to go ahead and send it on back to you guys for now.
Just real quickly, I mean, as we see this person walking around here, if we pull out, do we see any vehicles of any first responders or anybody who are now coming into this area, as we know that they've kept their distance for some time because of the threat to the area? But I'm just curious if it appears anybody's come in close. There's a vehicle.
Yeah, there's this vehicle right here, this white vehicle, and it looks like another individual. I cannot see. Oh, there we go. It's an official. That's helpful. It looks like a fire official. I can't make out which agency. It looks like it's potentially Esparto from here. So we will be trying to get some questions out to them to see if this is an update and that they have been able to go inside. And like we saw just a moment ago, take some photos and again just assess the gravity of this situation and what they're dealing with on the ground, because we know they've been using air resources to try to assess the damage and assess the risk and to make the decision and use that information to make their decisions as to when they were going to be able to get in on foot. So from what we're seeing, it does appear 1 to 2 people are out there and taking photos, and that would be quite the development on our end.
Yeah, we're approaching 23 hours now since the first explosion happened, and so finally it may be safe enough to get somebody close enough to try to survey exactly what has happened here. And so we do appreciate the perspective from the air.
Yeah, and also, Leanne, I'm noticing just since the last time we were talking during the noon hour, we still were seeing flames. We were still seeing, several little spot fires. Those all seem to be gone for the most part in the last 4 hours or so.
Yeah, definitely. When we flew back to refuel after the 1 o'clock press conference, we did still see some flames and some black smoke coming from the one of these storage containers. When we flew back, there's still a little bit of smoke, but not the heavy black smoke that we were seeing, and not those flames that we saw at noon and into the 1:30 or so timestamp, if you will. So that, yeah, I would say that is a change from what we last saw earlier today. But there is still some smoldering, and you do still see some of that light gray smoke coming up from parts of this explosion site.
So you think that you see two people down there, Leanne? I mean, we clearly saw one person, and it's hard to tell if they're even with that vehicle, because that vehicle was starting to do a three-point turn and kind of looked like it was headed out. I could see one person right now. Is the vehicle still there?
I thought I saw two, but again, I don't want to make any assumptions. And again, we're all doing this with you in real time. It does appear, if you look straight up, you can see one person walking around from the motions. It does appear that they're taking photos, but who this person is exactly unclear at this point. But we did see that fire vehicle on the road nearby, and I do believe I saw one additional person over that way, but we have been, spinning the camera around. And again, we're on this, we're watching this with you at home and with you at the desk, trying to figure out what exactly is going on. But
we're looking at the chimney there on the left. That is one of the two homes that are now gone, and of course the pool there. And so that investigator is now going, taking pictures right there of what was left of the home and of that pool.
Well, we don't know if that's an investigator for sure. We just know that that's a person. This has been deemed a crime scene, and so whoever this person is, they are walking through a crime scene right now. We have no idea if this is an official or if this is just maybe somebody who owns the property or is related to the property in some way, or is a neighbor. We have no idea who this person is. And if we can zoom out, we can see if that other vehicle is still there. It looks like law enforcement is coming up on the scene. And so they're probably going to question this person because, again, they were really clear today that this is a crime scene. And KCRA3's Michelle Bandor pressed them on this and asked them, looks like he handed him something, maybe handing him an ID of some sort. Michelle Bandor pressed them and said, why is this a crime scene? You can see this law enforcement officials asking them to kind of come over with them as they're walking over to the side. So there's really no word on who this person is. We don't know if this is an official or not. Who knows what their ID says, or looks like CHP is running that right now. But they were very clear today during that 1 o'clock press conference that this is a crime scene, and they elaborated on it a little bit. They didn't give us very specific reasons as to why it's a crime scene, but we asked, and we're still waiting on more answers. But we know it is for sure a crime scene, and you can't just walk through crime scenes like that.
And so what we did have a moment ago, our Live Copter 3 captured what appeared to be some sort of fire vehicle that had pulled up to this particular area. And then just moments ago, we saw the CHP officer pull up and question this particular individual who is standing by. Can Live Copter 3 show us where that other vehicle is at this point? We're just curious if there's anybody with that vehicle and what they're doing there at the scene.
And like I said, when we last saw them, it looked like they had turned around and they were moving out of the scene. So we don't know if that white vehicle was even related with this person that we're seeing on the ground. We have no idea if they were related with them or if they just happened to go by and saw this person there and they're the ones who alerted authorities, or if they dropped the person off. So you can see a lot of talking's happening. You can see hand gestures and that sort of thing. But that person doesn't look like that person's supposed to be there, because CHP is questioning them right now, probably running their driver's license or whatever identification they handed them at this time. Because it is a crime scene, no one is allowed to be there, and you don't want to damage any evidence. Even though we could clearly see them from Live Copter 3 just taking photos, they're still walking on things, and that definitely is not what you're supposed to do. That can contaminate things. This person could have been contaminating them. And again, we don't know who this person is. If they were an official, I don't think the conversation would be going on as long as it's going on. You can see a lot of gesturing happening from the person that CHP is talking to.
You know, this is open farmland all around there, but with all the blockades, and our crew has kept a distance. There has been quite a bit of law enforcement there blocking and protecting this entire area. So if this person is not supposed to be in the area, you got to wonder how they snuck past those blockades to get close. to this explosion site.
Absolutely. So we'll continue to follow this from Live Copter 3 and trying to get the most information that we can for you as soon as possible. We do know that there were 2 homes on the property. We were just showing them to you. We know that they're gone, and there's been a lot of damage to other homes in the area.